I think it's about time that I come out and say it. Threads sucks. For those of you that don't know about Threads, it was basically this social media that was marketed as the next big thing. It was supposed to be super cool. Kind of like when a new kid moves into town and he ends up being pretty cool. Think Curtis Connor from Stranger Things. And just like Curtis Connor from Stranger Things, Threads was really cool and then it just disappeared. So what even happened? What went wrong with Threads? Why are you in my house? Get out. Get out of my house. Get the hell. Two really important things happened on this day. Number one, I released a video that I had a lot of Number one, I released a video that you should go watch after this one. And number two, Supreme Leader Elon Emerald Mine Musk started to rate limit people on Twitter. If you're dumb like I am and have no idea what I just said, don't worry, it's okay. Same here. All you need to know is that rate limiting meant you could only see 600 tweets a day. That's what people are upset about. That's a lot of tweets. Anyways, enough aside. By the way, I just want to say how much I love the rate limiting. It was so funny to me to just see chronic Twitter addicts complaining about not being able to go on Twitter because they were using Twitter so much. They were complaining about having to go outside. It was kind of like in the movie Rapunzel when the main character, you know, Rapunzel, left her tower for the first time and saw the outside world and had a whole song and dance about it. Except it wasn't like that at all and nobody went outside. I do wish though that when you got rate limited, the website just started making fun of you. Like that would have been awesome if you get rate limited and Twitter just starts calling you names. That's what we need to use AI for. Woo! America. Yeah, okay. I love fracking. While everyone else was out grilling burgers, setting forests on fire, drilling for oil, and celebrating a country with scandalous politics, Zuck Stubbs Barbecue Sauce from Macleod quietly snuck a new app on the App Store. And that app was called Threads. Everyone now saw what Threads looked like, and people realized this looked a lot like Twitter. But it promised to be positive, which for social media, that's a pretty big step. People called it the Twitter killer, which, correct me if I'm wrong here, but isn't killing illegal? Illegal activities aside, people were excited. Twitter finally had a rival, funded by Mark Zuckerberg. This was gonna be the app to kill Twitter, and all anybody had to do was wait until July. So Threads is released to the internet, and the mass exodus of Twitter finally began. People were leaving, people were burning their Twitter accounts down. Twitter was done. Threads was the next big thing. There was only a small issue in this whole thing. Threads was okay, I guess. But people looked past that. People saw new potential. People saw new social media, new platform to share my thoughts, another way to cure my crippling dopamine addiction. In fact, so many people joined Threads on its first day that it became the fastest growing social media of all time, ever. Also, somehow, Threads ended up beating ChatGPT as the fastest growing social media of all time, which, okay, cool, awesome, great. ChatGPT isn't a social media. At least last time I checked, it was still an essay writer. So does that mean, using that knowledge from the internet, that Microsoft Word is a social media? Oh, hey dude, I was looking for you. What's your Instagram?
Oh, I don't have an Instagram.
Oh, okay. You got X?
What's X?
Never mind. Do you have any socials at all? Anything I can follow you on?
Yeah, you can find me on Google Docs.
You have that, right? What?
I'm on Microsoft Excel too, if that's better. What's the problem? Why do you look like that? What's the issue?
Threads has a lot of people, basically, is what I'm trying to say. To put it into perspective, 30 million is the same population as the country of Madagascar. I do have to admit, though, being on a social media the day it launches was pretty nice. It was like luxury living, okay? There were no ads, I think. Maybe there was. I don't even know. There weren't any corporations, to my knowledge. I don't know. I don't pay attention to corporations. And there were only a few OnlyFans girls in the comments. And on top of all that, Elon was suing Threads for, stealing Twitter, which was the whole point of Threads. That's a whole other thing. Despite all that, though, things were going great for Threads. Things were not going great. Oh, no. By this point, Threads has been out for 2 days, and it has already fallen off a cliff harder than me as a kid. People had finally started to realize that Threads was really bare bones. It was practically empty. Like, sure, I'll give it credit. Threads looked okay. No, the UI of Threads was Okay, no, not that either. In all honesty, it was actually pretty bad. Especially the UI of Threads. Okay, let me talk about this. I spent 10 minutes of my life trying to figure out how to see the other comments on a post. Which, by the way, I found out that it isn't by pressing the comment button. You have to actually tap on the post. If you can't tell, it really pissed me off. For an app advertised to be focused on spreading positivity, I fucking sucked at it. There's no direct messaging on Threads. Every social media has direct messaging. Without direct messaging, all Threads is a modern day 2000s internet chat room, minus most of the creepy dudes. Mostly. Within 2 days, it was dead. People were still posting, but it was kind of just like sending messages into a void. So, it's been a few days since I last recorded. Today, it's August 1st, which means I'm basically almost a month late to this whole thing, so burn me at this stake. Who cares? So here's the thing. By today's standards, Threads is hanging on by a thread. If you want to see just how bad it is for Threads, go to Google Trends. Wait a second. That's my retention graph. Also, for some reason, according to Google Trends, Syria is the #1 country looking up Threads. I didn't even know they had internet over there.
Hey, dude, listen. You're gonna need to cool it with the Syria jokes, okay?
I only made one Syria joke.
No, like, you don't get it. Your jokes are seriously threading the needle right now. Like, they're bombing.
At this point, it's safe to say that I called it when I said, except I was just a little bit off. Because, well, pardon the brashness here, the so-called Twitter killer could even show itself as a social media giant. The most ironic thing about this whole saga is that if you look on Google Trends, you see that, Threads has just taken the downfall. If you put Twitter next to it, Twitter never even moved. The funniest part is that for a little bit, everyone on Twitter was posting about how they were deleting Threads. I mean, the Opera GX Twitter intern deleted Threads. That's like game over. You're done at that point, you know what I mean? I'm sorry, Threads. It's been great, but bye-bye. At this point, we can just put Threads in the trash with all the other failed social medias and just get out of here. Also, hey, Zuckerberg, not a big fan. Next time you make a social media, it'd be better off just stealing it from somebody else.